kayo po? Naranasan nyo na ba? Yung bang matanggihan ng ospital? Marami nagrereklamo ng ganyan eh. Ay, wala akong pandeposito. Ay, puno na po dito. Ay, lipat na lang po kayo. Dahil ba wala kayong sapat na perang pambayad o pangdeposito sa inyong bill? Isa lamang po yan sa mga issue na ating pag-uusapan. Perfect dahil makakasama po natin mamaya ang isang doktor na abogado pa. At very special po siya dahil mayroon po siyang katungkulan sa ating ipinagmamalaking grupo ng University of Santo Tomas, Gamma Beta Epsilon Fraternity Group of Doctors. So, sali na kayo ha ang ating question of the day. Ano ang karapatan ng pasyente, naku po, ang hindi na ipapatupad? Saklap niya na. Let us talk about, since you are also practicing doctor and practicing lawyer, let us talk about the patient's rights, Dr. Leomil. Ang unang katanungan na dito, may karapatan ba yung pasyente? Ano ba yung mga karapatan niya when it comes to access sa healthcare? Pakipaliwanag nga po ito.
Okay. So I think one thing which started, if you are very familiar, started during the time of Digong Duterte, nag-umpisa na tayo ng universal healthcare coverage, although it's not yet well implemented, kulang pang budget. So, the mere fact, every person must have the right to have quality medical care. Quality medical care. So, ang question is, because legally, tatanungin natin, who is a person? So sa law natin, it provides a person must be born before a being can be considered a person. So again, ulitin natin, a fetus is literally within the legal concept, is not yet a person. Ang person yan is the pregnant woman. So a pregnant woman, while pregnant, while carrying the fetus, must have an access to quality and adequate medical care. So, fetus, pagpanganak niya, from day one, person na siya until he grows to old age, until he dies, the child, it becomes old, he has the right to have a universal health care which will provide the patient, the person, adequate medical attention.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Leomil, ha? Ngayon, as a lawyer, pwede po bang ipaliwanag ninyo, ano ba sa tingin ninyo yung ibang mga patients' rights na madalas nasa-set aside at hindi na ibibigay yung kanilang karapatan?
So, bali, the right to choose a doctor. It is happening right now. Kung ma-notice nyo, a patient minsan gets admitted sa hospital with only one attending physician. Along the way, by complications, sometimes the complications, ma-realize nga ng patient, i-refer siya ng attending physician sa isang subspec, like say as a cardiologist will refer the physician to a pulmonologist, to an OB-GYN. Along the way, during admission, not so much outpatient, because outpatient, the patient has time to ponder, has time to consider kung sino ang choice niya of a physician. Pero usually on admission, especially on emergency cases, magulo ang isip ng patient or the folks. And minsan, nabibigay sila ng choice and pumapayag lang sila even that they have failed or they wanted to assert or to inform the attending physician that sometimes referring to a second, third, fourth, or fifth physician will be beyond their financial means. So, yan ang because the choice of the patient, the choice of the physician for a patient will also include the capacity to pay the physician in addition to trust, in addition to where the patient is comfortable. So, minsan parang i-refer sa kanya, first time nila ma-meet na physician, nga suspect. So, why? What is the significance of this? The choice of the patient, and the patient has to assert sometimes na kulang siya ng financial means because it will lead Two, but now illegal, nga detention ng patient before settling the financial bill or the financial obligation in the form of bills to the hospital where the patient is admitted.
Balik tayo dun sa katanungan ko kanina, no? Paano yon? Nandun na sila sa ER. Tapos, pinaaalis na sila kasi nga hindi sila makapag-deposito for admission. Walang kulang o kulang ang dalang pera o kaya hinahanapan sila ng ibang mapupuntahan kasi hindi na daw sila sa private, dapat sa government hospital na lamang. Your position on this, Attorney Leomila Portadera?
It is now illegal to refuse treatment in those cases, but we have to qualify, we have to make it clear that it covers not only private hospitals but also even government hospitals. So government officials, the directors of those said government hospitals may be liable if they refuse to treat patients who came in for emergency and serious cases. So the coverage, number one, is all hospitals and even medical clinic, and the coverage applies to emergency and serious conditions. So basically, the hospital can still demand a deposit if it is for an elective case. So you want to have cosmetic surgery that is elective, that is not emergency, that is not serious, you cannot apply this law against the hospital deposit law.
Oh, yun. Siyempre naman, pampatangos ng ilong, pampakinis ng mukha. Hindi naman emergency. I'll give a real example, Attorney Leomil, ha. Sample, ang pasyente, sabi mo nga, emergency and serious condition. Yung pasyente ay may tumor o cancer. Dumudura siya o nagsusuka siya ng dugo. So this is both an emergency and a serious condition. Some hospitals might consider treating only yung pagsuka o paglabas ng dugo. But after that, hindi na siya i-admit kasi sasabihin, controlled na yung pagdurugo, hanap ka na ng ibang hospital to treat your condition na tumor or cancer. Your position on this as a lawyer, sir?
Basically, we are referring to the law, if I'm not mistaken, I think Republic Act 10932. I think that's the law, no? Against prohibiting demanding deposits. The provisions of this said Republic Act also covers, no, emergency or serious condition.
I have another question sa'yo as a lawyer. There are patients na nagstay na ng matagal sa hospital na so much so na yung bill nila patong-patong na kung halimbawa nalampasan na yung kakayanan nilang magbayad, gusto nila ma-discharge na at mag-issue na lang sila ng promissory note. Is this acceptable for some hospitals, and what if ayaw tanggapin ng hospital yon? Attorney?
The hospital cannot refuse, hindi pwede umayaw yung hospital. Basically, ang condition, the site mga example is covered by another Republic Act 9039, so that is an earlier law compared to the anti-deposit law. It's the law prohibiting prolonged hospital detention of those patients who cannot settle their bill. So hindi pwede hindi pang i-discharge ang pasyente just for the reason na hindi pa nabayaran ang bill sa hospital.
Paano kung ini-insist daw ng doktor ang isang procedure pero ayaw nung pasyente? Another example, may bukol daw siya o tumor. Una, gusto siyang i-biopsy. Ayaw daw niya. Pangalawa, gusto siyang operahan. Ayaw din niya. Pangatlo, gusto na siyang i-chemo pero ayaw din niya. May karapatan ba siya na tumanggi sa mga ito?
Yes. You mentioned at the start, no, na-mention mo, pag-umpisa natin kanina, basically, there are around 13 patients' rights. And the right is, included in those rights is number one, a right to consent. So, walang procedure, walang operasyon magagawa sa pasyente pag hindi written consent ang pasyente or next of kin. Ang consent is also, it must also be an informed consent. Pag informed consent, ang pasyente may mga options. Hindi lang na hard sell na pipilitin na operahan. So the patient, in fact, we went to UST. Ang UST sa atin medical ethics, sinasabi pa nga, a patient also has a right to a dignified death. So some patients may opt for a death, anyway, kung terminal ang cases, without those tubes, without those IV lines.
Oh, wow, meron
So,
pala ha?
ganun ang basis natin, okay?
Oh, a patient has the right for a dignified death. Napakaganda nung
Yes.
nung nabanggit na yun ni Dr. and Attorney Leomil Aportadera.